Stop. Close your eyes. When I say hell, what do you see? I bet you see a red cave. You see fire everywhere. You see a devil with horns holding a pitchfork. You see people screaming in lava. This is the image we have seen in every movie and cartoon since we were children. We think this is the absolute truth. But I have to tell you something terrifying. You have been lied to. That image of the red devil and the eternal fire, it is not in the Bible. It comes from a poet named Dante Alighieri. He wrote a fiction book called The Divine Comedy 700 years ago. He invented the circles of hell. He made it up. But when we actually open the ancient texts, when we read the original Hebrew and Greek words, we find something much worse than fire. Fire is painful, yes, but the real hell is described differently. It is a place of suffocating silence. It is a place of absolute darkness where you cannot see your hands. It is a place of slime, mud, and worms that eat you from the inside out. It is a place of total isolation in the cold void of space. Forget the fire. The truth is much more disturbing. Today, we are going to look at what hell actually looks like. Prepare yourself. We are turning off the lights. To understand the true horror, we must go back to the Old Testament. Here, the word for the underworld is Sheol. Sheol is not a place of fire. It is a place of dust. The Bible calls it the land of forgetfulness. Imagine a massive underground cave, but there are no flames here. There is no torture. There is only nothing. Think of an old, abandoned house. Think about how thick the dust is on the floor. Now imagine that dust covers everything. It covers your eyes. It covers your mouth. In Sheol, the dead are called the shadows. They are not burning. They are fading. The horror of Sheol is not pain. The horror is boredom. It is the complete loss of purpose. The Bible says there is no work or thought or knowledge or wisdom in Sheol. Imagine standing in a gray room. No windows, no doors, no sound. You try to speak, but your voice is weak. You try to move, but you have no energy. And the worst part, you are forgotten. In this place, you are cut off from life. You are cut off from God. You are just a shadow in the dark, fading into nothingness forever. But there is a deeper level. The Bible describes a specific prison in the New Testament. This place is not for humans. It is for fallen angels. This place is called Tartarus. In the second letter of Peter, he writes that God threw the rebellious angels into Tartarus. He says they are committed to chains of gloomy darkness. Notice the atmosphere. It is not hot, it is cold. Tartarus is a dungeon. It is damp, heavy, and wet. Have you ever been in a deep cave? When you go deep enough, the temperature drops. The air becomes heavy. The darkness is physical. It presses against your eyes. Tartarus is a maximum security prison. The prisoners are bound with eternal chains. This plays on our deepest fear, claustrophobia. Imagine being wrapped in heavy metal chains. You cannot move your arms. You cannot move your legs. And you are in total pitch blackness. You are trapped with ancient evil entities that are screaming in the dark. This is not a place of fire. It is a place of restriction. You are paralyzed. You are blind. You are cold. It is like being buried alive at the bottom of the ocean. Speaking of the ocean, the book of Revelation gives us another name for hell. It is called Abaddon, or the abyss. In English, we call it the bottomless pit. This is terrifying physics. A lake of fire has a surface. You can stand in it. But a pit is a hole. A bottomless pit means you never stop falling. In the ancient world, the abyss was connected to the deep sea. It was a place of chaos and monsters. In Revelation chapter 9, an angel opens the shaft of the abyss. And what comes out? Not fire, smoke. The text says, smoke rose from it like the smoke from a gigantic furnace. and the sun and sky were darkened. It is a place of pollution. It is choking. It is toxic. It smells like sulfur and chemicals, and out of this smoke, monsters come out. The Bible describes creatures that look like locusts, but they sting like scorpions. This version of hell is a biological nightmare. It is wet, dark, and full of smoke. Imagine falling into a deep black well. You are choking on thick smoke. You hear the sound of millions of insect wings buzzing around you, and you just keep falling deeper and deeper forever. So far, we have seen dust, chains, and a pit, but Jesus himself gave a description that is perhaps the scariest of all. He warned that people would be cast into the outer darkness. The word outer is key. It means outside, outside the city, outside the light, outside of reality. What is outside our atmosphere? Space. Space is a vacuum. It is silent, and it is cold. Absolute zero. The outer darkness represents total isolation. If God is light, then this place is the total absence of God. Jesus says that in this place, there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. This is panic. This is regret. Imagine floating in the deep void of space. There are no stars. There is no planet. There is just you. You are completely alone. There is no one to talk to. There is no sound. You are left alone with your own thoughts. You have eternity to replay every mistake you ever made. Human beings need connection. Solitary confinement breaks the human mind. The outer darkness is the ultimate solitary confinement. You are not fighting demons. You are fighting your own mind, forever. Finally, we arrive at the word Jesus used most often, Gehenna. This is where the confusion comes from. Gehenna involves burning, but not in the way you think. Gehenna was a real place. It was a valley outside Jerusalem. In ancient times, people sacrificed children there. Because of this evil, it became the city garbage dump. People threw their trash there. They threw dead animals there. They threw the bodies of criminals there. To keep the smell down, fires were always burning, but Jesus added a detail that makes it truly disgusting. He said Gehenna is where their worm does not die, and the fire is not quenched. Focus on the worm. He is talking about maggots, parasites. The horror of Gehenna is not just heat, it is rot. It is the smell of burning garbage and decaying meat. It is a place of shame. If you were thrown into Gehenna, it meant your life was waste. You were trash. Imagine a massive pile of garbage. The smoke stings your eyes. The smell makes you vomit. And as you look down, you see the ground moving. It is covered in millions of maggots. The worm that does not die suggests a corruption that never ends. It is a physical feeling of being eaten. It is dirty. It is nasty. It is the reality of decay. We have looked at the dust of Sheol. We have felt the cold chains of Tartarus. We have fallen into the smoky abyss. We have floated in the outer darkness. And we have smelled the rot of Gehenna. None of these look like Dante's Inferno. The Bible suggests that these are descriptions of a terrible reality, separation from life. The book of Revelation calls it the second death. The fire might be a metaphor, or it might be literal. But the true horror isn't the temperature. The true horror is the silence. It is the worm. It is the realization that you are completely alone. So the next time you see a cartoon devil, remember, that is just a fairy tale. The real description is much darker, much quieter, and much more terrifying. Now, I have a question for you. Which version of hell scares you the most? Is it the silence of the dust, or the isolation of the outer darkness? Tell me in the comments below. If you enjoyed this descent into the dark, hit that like button and subscribe. We upload new mysteries every week. Thanks for watching.